I want to ask you something. If someone were to ask you right now, not what your GCI is, not what your volume is, but what kind of leader you are, what would you say? Could you answer the question without hesitating? Most of the women I coach currently could not when we first started working together. Women closing 700,000, $1 million, 1.2 million, 2 million in gross commission income a year could not answer the question. And they all come to me saying, Saundra, I need a better strategy. Saundra, I need to figure out how to help my agents close business in this market. And then I have to tell them the truth. You don't have a strategy problem. You have an identity problem. That is what today is all about. This is episode 1 of the 4P framework that I help every single elite coaching client with. This is episode 1 of the 4P series, and today we're starting with purpose. Let me give you a quick map before we dive in. I coach to the 4P framework: purpose, partnerships, people, and profit. That's the framework I use to coach every single woman inside the Legacy Collaborative. It's the same framework that helped me succeed as CFO of a $1 billion brokerage, and also that helped me coach leadership and agents across 37 markets across different countries in real estate. It is also the same 4 things that help me build up real estate businesses inside brokerages in 3 markets that improved their profit by 1,000% in less than 3 years. We're going to talk about one pillar each. Let's go. When I talk about purpose, I don't mean your mission statement. I don't mean your big why. This is not language and lingo that's been thrown around over the years in your world. I mean something slightly different. I mean your identity as a leader. Who are you when the numbers are not there? Who are you when the team is struggling? Who are you when you have a lot of personal things to navigate and you're working on running your business? Who are you when the market shifts? It's not what you do. It's who you are. And when those 2 things are disconnected, when you're leading from your production identity instead of your personal identity, it creates a specific kind of exhaustion. It feels like I'm absolutely killing it and I'm dying inside. I coach women doing 8 figures in production and go home and they have absolutely nothing left for their kids. And some of them are coaches that coach you. That is not a calendar problem. That is a purpose gap. It is values misalignment. When a woman is clear on her purpose, on who she is, on what she's building, on why it matters beyond just the commission check, she leads differently. She hires differently. She shows up in her family differently. Purpose is not soft. It is structural. Everything else is actually built on your purpose. Let me give you another way to think about this. Most women building businesses in real estate build a business around production first and identity second. We decide who we are based on what the numbers say this month. If production is up, we feel confident. If production is down, we question everything. That creates emotional volatility in leadership because when your identity is attached to performance, every market shift feels personal. Every setback feels like proof that you're failing. Purpose actually changes that. Purpose creates stability. It gives you something far deeper to stand on than a sales report. The leaders who build lasting businesses are not the ones with the most high highs out of anything. They're the ones with the strongest foundation. I had a client, I'll call her Melissa. She was making $900,000 in gross commission income a year. She had 7 agents on her team. On our very first coaching call, she said, Saundra, I feel like a fraud. I've built a machine that I have to keep feeding, and I don't even know what I'm feeding it. That is a purpose gap. Word for word. We didn't look at her business first, although that is why she got on a call with me. We looked at her, and I asked, who were you before you were a team leader? What do you believe that you're called to do in this one and precious life? She got really quiet. I think I'm supposed to prove to other moms in business, and especially those that are inside my team, that you don't have to choose between presence and production, that you can actually be home and be a mom and have a great business. That was her purpose, not a tagline, a conviction. When that became what she led from, everything changed. Her team, her culture, the way she talked about her business, everything. Within 18 months, she was at 1.4 million and coaching her agents through the same exact process that she followed so they could actually be present with their family as well. Her purpose and the gap that she noticed actually has become her legacy. Melissa isn't unusual. I could tell you versions of that story all day long. Different markets, different team sizes, different income levels. The pattern is almost always the same. A woman builds success. Then she discovers success is not answering the question that she thought it would. She thought the next commission check would create fulfillment. She thought the next award would create confidence. She thought the next level of growth would finally make everything feel worth it. But fulfillment doesn't come from achievement alone. It comes from alignment. And that is why purpose has to come first. Because when purpose is clear, success becomes an expression of who you are instead of a substitute for who you are. Before I give you these questions, I want you to understand something. You are not looking for the perfect answer. You're looking for the honest answer. Most people try to intellectualize purpose. They try to create something impressive, something marketable, something that sounds good on a website. That's actually not what we're doing here. Purpose is usually much simpler than people think. It's often hidden inside the things that frustrate you, break your heart, or make you angry enough to want to change. That's why these 3 questions matter. They help you uncover what's already there. Get a journal. These are not phone questions. 1, what breaks your heart about the way that women lead in your industry? That answer usually holds space for the purpose that you were designed for. 2, what do you want your kids to say about the way you led your life, not your success, when they're grown? 3, if your income were fully secured, what would you build? Not vacation, build. Let's talk about something that no one discusses openly, the achievement trap. And if you're a high-performing woman, there's a good chance you've been living in it for years. Here's how it works. You set a goal, you achieve the goal. You feel good about it for about 5 minutes. Then your brain immediately moves to the finish line. Now it's the next goal, the next milestone. More transactions, a bigger team, more revenue, more recognition. And before you know it, you have spent years chasing goals without even stopping to figure out why you're chasing them. I see this all the time. Women who have accomplished things they once prayed for, the team they wanted, the income they wanted, the business they wanted. Yet somehow they're still carrying the same feeling that they'll be happy when the next thing happens. The problem is that achievement is a terrible place to build your identity because achievement is always moving. There's always another level, another market, another award, another person doing things better. If your identity depends on achievement, you'll never feel like you arrived. Purpose changes that. Purpose allows you to enjoy the journey. You enjoy growth without needing growth to prove your worth. Think about that for a moment. When your identity is rooted in purpose, success becomes something that you actually get to enjoy the experience of. It stops being something that you need to feel valuable. You can celebrate a great year without making it your identity. You can survive a difficult year without questioning your identity. That's real leadership. Because leadership is not about performing at a high level only when things are going well. Leadership is about remaining grounded when things are uncertain. The women building lasting businesses are not necessarily the most talented. They are the most anchored. They know who they are before the market tells them. They know who they are before a commission check tells them who they are. They know who they are before social media tells them who they are. And that is why purpose matters so much. Because when purpose becomes the foundation, everything else has somewhere solid to stand. When you have those answers and you truly spend time in them, you're mapping out purpose. Then the work becomes making your business an expression of it, not a contradiction of it. Your reflect prompt is this: if your business disappeared tomorrow, what would still be true about who you are as a leader? Write it down. If you can't answer yet, that's okay. That's the gap between who you are and who you choose to be. And that's where the work begins. If this conversation resonated with you, I would love for you to subscribe and share it with another woman leader who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to go deeper, to build a business that's aligned with your purpose, your values, and the legacy that you want to create, I would love to support you inside the Legacy Collaborative. I'm Saundra Kandler, and this is Reflect Like a CEO, the space where we have real conversations about leadership, purpose, faith, and alignment. Next week, we're talking about partnerships. Until then, keep reflecting, keep leading, and keep building your legacy. I'm so glad you're here. Let's build your legacy together.